Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, I know this is like off topic right now, but tell me why I bought this dress from Nordstrom the other day, you guys. And now that I'm staring at myself in the camera, why does it remind me of the other mother from Coraline? Like, it's just giving that with the polka dots, and it's brown, not black, but like, I don't know, it just gives that vibe. But anyways, I was just thinking that and I had to say something. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing my financial video. I'm going to be talking about my finances, my financial plan, and going through all of that with you guys. If you haven't seen the other video that I posted about all my financial regrets, I would definitely check that video out. That's kind of what started this little series that I'm going to get into about finances. So I was kind of going over past mistakes that I've made, money that I've spent things on, good and bad things that I've done, maybe things that I would have done differently. And now in this video, I'm going to go over my current financial plan and the situation that I'm in now and moving forward. So if you want to see that, then keep watching. Before I get started into my step-by-step plan, I do want to thank my sponsor of this video, which is PDS Debt. PDS Debt is literally the perfect sponsor for today's video because we are going to be talking about debt a lot in this video because obviously that has a lot to do with the quality of life you'll have, your finances, and all of those things. It is super important because debt does start small and then all at once, next thing you know, you're getting calls, you're getting letters in the mail, and it starts as little bills and they start adding up very quickly, and you do not want that to be something that consumes you or prohibits you from getting further in life. Whether it's medical bills, personal loans, credit card bills, or collections, PDS Debt can help you. They are rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. They have thousands of 5-star reviews. You do not need a minimum credit score, and they do not see you as just a number. This is the best thing about PDS Debt because they come up with a unique, personalized solution for you. They give you different options. They learn your situation and see what's a good plan for you, and you have different options to choose from, whether you're overwhelmed and can't do it yourself or you just want to know what options you have out there. If this is something that I knew about when I was paying off my debt, I would definitely have used this. So if you want to get a free debt assessment and see what options that you have, check out pdsdebt.com/Cristina. That's pdsdebt.com/Cristina. It literally takes 30 seconds and it's free to just see your options. So I would definitely check that out. Without further ado, let's get into the video. I do want to say a little disclaimer. I do know that everyone's financial situation is different and what works for somebody might not work for somebody else. There's a lot of factors that come into play: how much money you make, where you live, if you have children, and like just a bunch of different factors. So obviously it's not going to be a cookie cutter plan for everybody, but I do believe that the first like 3 to 4 steps in my financial plan is very broad and honestly can kind of work for anybody. And then once it gets like further, then that's when it becomes more specific to your situation. So I just want to say that because obviously everyone has a different situation. And the second thing I want to say is that I don't believe that any of this is possible without a job or hard work. I myself follow a lot of people who do content like about real estate or like finances and like get rich quick or like buy a house with no money. I personally, sorry if you hear the lawn, they're cutting the lawn in front. But if you hear stuff like that, I personally don't feel like that's realistic unless you know someone with a bunch of money that's just lending you money to invest their money. But an average person does not have that. So I do feel like in order to get further in life and all this, you do need to have a job, you do need to work hard, and you do need to make sacrifices. So this is not going to be like a get rich quick or like easy thing. This is just going to be my plan and my advice. So yeah, let's get into it. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Dave Ramsey. He's basically a guy who talks about finances and like gets calls like on radio and answers people's questions and like helps them with their finances. So he has a video where he talks about like the 7 baby steps, and he has like a 7-step plan to like being a millionaire in 10 years. So I will leave both of those videos linked down below because I did get the first 3 steps from his plan that he made for people. A lot of people disagree with his plan because he's all about paying everything off, and I know there is a such thing as good debt. So it just, like I said, it depends on what works for you. But his very first step, and what I also am following right now, is step 1 is to save $1,000. So this step should be done super quickly. Obviously, if you have a job, then you would just try to save $1,000. Maybe you already have $1,000 in an account somewhere, or maybe you have $5,000 in an account somewhere. Great. So now you have 1,000 of it to put in an account. That will be your savings. That'll be like your buffer between you and life. Like he talks about that in his videos. So I will link them below because I am like quoting this from him. But basically, step 1 is to save $1,000, and that's it. That's your savings. So whether you got to sell things, like sell a purse, or you know what I mean, work a second job, go Uber Eats or whatever you have to do, or maybe you already have the $1,000. Step 1 is to just have $1,000 in an account as a savings where you just have that as your little like emergency. The second step, which is probably the most hardest and most important step, if you take anything from this video, it will be this step alone. And I was literally waiting to complete this step in order to even make this video, would be the debt snowball. So that is paying off all of your debt. So basically you're going to put your debt in order from lowest to highest, not including your home. If you live with your parents or you don't own a house or you have an apartment or whatever, that doesn't count. But if you own a home, don't count that in your debt. But you're going to make a list of all your debt from lowest to biggest. So say you owe like $200 on like a Sephora credit card, and then you owe like $2,000 on a medical bill, and you owe like $10,000 on your car payment, and like $50,000 in student loans. You're going to have it all in order from smallest to biggest. And then you are going to attack the small loan. So on all the big loans, you're only going to make the minimum payment. But the littlest one, you're going to attack it and do whatever it takes to get rid of that loan. So all your money, if you have money in savings, just pay it off. Boom, that one's gone. And then keep going down to the next one, to the next one. That's why it's a snowball. It just goes down. So basically, I believe that this is the most important step, because once you have no debt, imagine having no payments, no debt besides where you live. Like, that would make such a huge impact. That would relieve so much stress. And that's why PDS debt is also important, because they can help you with this step, because it is the most important step. For me personally, I think you need to do whatever it takes to get this step done, whether it means selling things. I mean, I always owned all my cars in full, but you guys even seen when I did that video, I literally sold my BMW that was my dream car, and I traded it in for a Mazda. So maybe you have a car payment that's super, super high, and you decide, you know what, maybe I do need to sell this car and downgrade to a different car in the meantime until I feel financially secure. Because if you have all this debt and all these things, having that nice car, what does that really mean if you're stressing? You know what I mean? So you just have to decide what's important to you. Obviously, when I was like 19, 20, no one was going to tell me anything. I was going to have my cars. I was very stubborn. But now that I'm older, I have a child, and I feel like I've experienced those things. Now I'm like, okay, yes, I do see the benefit in getting rid of this car, even though it was paid in full, getting some of that money back, and then having a car that's paid in full, that's a more reliable, cheaper car that will be way less expensive to fix. So these are like lifestyle changes that you're going to have to make big sacrifices on this step. But once this step is done, it's going to be like such a breath of fresh air. So for me personally, I don't have any credit card debt. I paid off all my credit card debt. My only other debt was my titties, my boob surgery, which was actually $17,000. It didn't end up being $20,000 because I forgot that I paid my surgery fee in full before my surgery. So I paid off my titties, but literally I got them done August, September, October. So I got them done over 2 months ago, and I already paid them off. And I want you to know that every single penny that I made at work for the last 2.5 months has gone toward my boobs. Every single penny that I made, I put it right towards paying that off. Luckily, I had a savings already where I could take out to pay my bills, but every single thing went towards paying it off because it was very important to just get rid of that debt. So right now, I don't have any credit card debt. All my credit cards, I use them and I pay them in full. I don't have any medical bill debt because these were the only medical debt I had, and I paid them off literally just yesterday. I do not have a car payment because I traded in my newer car for this car and it's paid in full, so I don't have a car payment. And I don't have any student loans because when I did go to college, I paid it off after I stopped. So basically, right now, I have zero debt. The only debt that I do have are my 2 properties. And I feel like, well, they say student loans and a mortgage are considered good debt. So that is step 2, to try to pay off all your debt except for where you live. So that is the step that I just completed. And yeah, it's just going to take a lot of sacrifice to do those steps because obviously everyone's situation is different. Maybe you have the money in an account right now and you can just pay off all your debt. Maybe you have student loans that it might take you 3 years to pay off. But it is worth it to sacrifice 3 years because honestly 3 years or even 10 years, it does go by faster than you think. And just imagine how good it would feel to not have any of that debt and, you know, just be able to save all your money. It seems like, why would I pay all of that into this when I want to live and I want to do all this stuff? But it is a sacrifice that you're making for your future self. Sorry if you hear Aziz riding his bike around. My tia just dropped him off to me and I was in the middle of filming and now he's back home. So if you hear him, I'm sorry. But step 3 is to save 3 to 6 months of expenses. So that will be your emergency fund. So that is the step that I also just completed. Why I kind of already always had like a savings from when I got, like before I got pregnant. Like I always had a savings because obviously like I was making good money at the time, and like I had a baby, so I always had that. So I've always had that emergency fund of more than 3 to 6 months of a savings for a rainy day or if anything happens. So once you complete these 3 steps, you're basically at ground zero technically, because you have 3 to 6 months of an emergency savings fund, which you should just always have and never touch because that's literally for emergencies, and you have all your debt paid off. So those first 3 steps are from Dave Ramsey, but the 4th step, like moving forward now, this is just like my own thing that I'm doing, because he has 7 steps, but those are the 3 steps from him that I was actually like abiding by, and then the other ones, I feel like those are like, it gets more specific after that. But basically, you can watch that video if you want to hear his other steps. But my 4th step is to write down your monthly expenses. So honestly, I feel like the 3rd and 4th step that I'm saying can be done simultaneously at the same time, which they kind of have to be done at the same time. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I've already saved $1,000, paid off all my debt except for my buildings, and have 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund. And now I'm on like the 4th step, which is I'm writing down all of my monthly expenses and every single penny that comes in and out. I'm going to do that for like 2 months. And then if you guys want, I can share it with you guys. You guys know I don't mind sharing stuff like this because 1, I'm super open about things. And 2, I feel like it does help to see a real life situation of somebody else. So I know that's like TMI or whatever to some people, but me personally, like I feel like it's helpful and like really, you know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal to me. So I feel like I'm right now trying to figure out every single bill that I have, from the mortgage to the gas to the electric to groceries to cars, and like every single thing that I spend, I'm writing it down, and I'm going to do that for like 2 months and then see what my exact like minimum monthly bills are. Like even just doing that for a month, I've already realized 2 subscriptions that I'm signed up for that I didn't even know I was signed up for, and I canceled them. One was like $4.99 and one was like $18.99, and I didn't even notice that they were coming out of my account every month until I literally physically started writing it down. I'm sure there's like an app on your phone that you can use too, but I don't know why. I've just always been like the type of person to want to like have a notebook and write everything. It just helps me. So that is what I'm doing right now. But I do feel like step 3 and 4 kind of go together, because how are you going to have 3 to 6 months of expenses if you don't know what your monthly expenses are? So I kind of already just had a savings account. That's why I didn't really need to do that step. But yeah, definitely what I'm doing right now is writing down all my bills and how much I literally spend every single month. So if you guys want me to do another video going over my monthly expenses and stuff like that, let me know if you want that, or if this is just like stupid and boring to you. But basically, say you go over all your monthly expenses, right? And just say, for example, your monthly expenses are $2,000. This is just an example. So now you know like your minimum, and I'm talking just like gas for your car, groceries, your rent, your electric, like your minimum, what you need to spend, not miscellaneous things that you buy. Like your minimum is $2,000. Now you know that you need to have $2,000 a month to survive, like at the bare minimum. So that's kind of what I want to get. I want to know my bare minimum number, and then I want to make a decision from there. So I have mentioned that I do want to pay off the condo that I bought, and some people tell me I shouldn't do that. The condo's paying for itself. I should invest in a 3rd property. But I feel that for me, it's the safest route to pay that condo off, because I believe that once that condo is paid off, I'm going to be able to profit enough money from that condo to pay off all my bills every month. Imagine that. I would have no bills if I paid off that condo, because it would pay for majority of my bills. Now, when I say no bills, I just mean like my mortgage and stuff. Obviously, you're always going to have bills. There's always going to be gas, electric. But if you have things that are able to pay those for you, that's kind of like the route I want to go in, because you never know, if people stop watching my videos, I'm not going to get paid. And then companies don't want to sponsor me, then I'm not going to get paid. No one wants to come in the club and spend money, or a pandemic happens, I'm not going to get paid. But if I own a condo in full, whoever rents it, I'm going to get paid from that. And that'll at least cover my minimum expenses. So that's why I want my expenses to be so low. That's what I mean by once you get to like the 4th step, like once you already have all your debt paid off and you have a savings, and it kind of gets more specific to your unique situation. But I do really feel that girls in my industry should own and buy real estate, just because like I don't know, I feel like a lot of girls have told me like they worked there and then they stopped working there and worked a regular job and they didn't like it and they came back. And that's kind of what I did in a way. And it's because you're making such good money and you don't know what you want to do, or sometimes they go back to school or whatever the case is. If you're making such good money and you're able to save and you are able to pay off your debt and do that, why not buy a condo for like $150 in full? Because you can probably save that in like a year or 2 years if you're working in that industry making good money. And then you can rent it out and profit like $1,200, $1,300 a month. And that's just free money that you can use to pay your bills. And then you can maybe get to the point where you're literally able to save all your money because your things are paying them off. I just think this is a good option for girls who don't know what they want to do. So, because I know a lot of girls, they want to go to cosmetology, they want to be a nurse, they want to do, like, they don't know what they want to do. And they're like, I'm making good money here, but this doesn't last. What can I do in longevity? Own a property, get a building, live in one unit, rent out the other. That's what I do. And just with paying off this condo, I'll be living here for free and having money left over for my bills. So I really feel like that is a good route. Obviously not for everyone. Everyone's situation is different. But even if you're working a job where you're making like $30,000 a year or 40 or whatever, imagine if you had all your debt and everything paid off and you were able to save majority of that money, what you could invest in. I bought this building with only $3,000 down. So you do have options, and that's pretty much my 4 steps. The $1,000, paying off the debt, which is the hardest part and that takes the longest amount of time, but it's the biggest, most rewarding one. Having 3 to 6 months of savings, and then also simultaneously making a financial plan so you know exactly how much money is going in and out every month, so you know minimum I need this much money a month to survive, you know. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm making like my financial monthly plan, and then once I know my exact numbers, I can do a video sharing that with you guys as well. And like when I'm getting close to paying off the condo. But let me know if you guys even like videos like this, or if this was even helpful or made sense. This is my first time obviously like trying to step into this kind of content. But yeah, I just think it's important. I also am thinking of going to school to get my real estate license so I can, you know, help girls in the industry or single moms. Like, I don't know, I just really want to help women who kind of don't know what to do and don't know anything about it, just to like own something. You know what I mean? I feel like I felt very empowered doing that, and you know, it's just a good thing to have. And yeah, it just always is worth more. Both properties that I have are worth a lot more than when I bought them. Obviously the building, I flipped it, but it's worth almost $400,000 more than when I bought it, and I bought it 4 years ago. So that's like making $100,000 a year just by living here. And even the condo, I did nothing to it. I bought it move-in ready, and it's already worth like $50,000 more than I bought it. And I bought it like a year ago. So that's what I mean. It's just a good investment, somewhere to park your money, especially if you're in the nightlife industry and you don't know what to do with it, and you don't know what you want to do yet in life or whatever. You just want a safety net. It's like, hey, if the club fails, I at least have this property that I'm making $2,000 a month and my bills are this or something, you know? Okay, I hope I didn't talk too much, but I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you want the monthly breakdown of the prices once I have that. But I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.